Is that a
Yeah,
link?
Not bad.
Kia.
It's not bad of a day it is.
Oh man.
I gotta wear this as a light fixture.
Kia, these are ProCare mock
Put it in front of you.
mocktails.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, mocktails. The lemon chew. I like them a lot. They're good.
I like these ones. The cinnamon roll. These are delicious. If you walk to our bio, you get 20% off for the rest of the year using code BME10.
20% off. And they're
What's up,
already cheap.
Jamie?
I think
Jamie!
they're priced out pretty well. What's up, Jamie? Topic tonight, Jamie, would be community.
And speaking of community, be sure to check out our sister chat, Talk Barry to Me, with our friend VSG. Every Sunday. He goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yo, very actually, bro.
What?
Bro,
What
Rev,
happened?
you're hilarious, bro. That was funny.
I mean, it is, and that's the topic for tonight. Is community, and what it
Speaking
means
of
to.
community, I have more. Don't forget,
Oh,
be a part of the community when you show up for the bariatric retreat this November 7th through the 10th at Paradise Point in San Diego, California. $50 off your ticket while tickets last. Use code.
are we under 30 days yet?
We are at
We're at 30 days.
30
Oh
days. 30 days, and I get to put Rab in a headlock and then watch Corby laugh out loud while I do it.
goodness.
Can I just spear you? Can I just
Corby
Goldberg
will
spear you,
probably help.
Rev? I just letting you know. I mean, if they're saying there, I'm definitely spearing you because you won't get hurt.
I'm gonna stand behind Rab and like lean over so when you spear him, it's set over tea kettles.
I gotta be careful, man. You might break me.
Gotta do it on the beat.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. So community, man. What does it mean to you? What's community mean to you, Tony?
Oh man, I mean, community can mean a lot of things. I mean, this community alone is support, it's friendship. I mean, you can even say at certain times that this community can be your counselor. I mean, there's a lot of things that this community does for each other. I mean, again, we spend a lot of time on here and we develop relationships with people. So much so that we actually meet in real life, in person, because we develop these type of friendships and, we enjoy each other's time. Again, between the three of us, we talk a lot. So much so that my wife gets annoyed with it.
Oh, yeah. So much so we talked to her too.
Yes, exactly. And that's why she accepts you.
That's what she
Again, it's that dynamic where, you know what, even my wife will bust your chops. And she jokes around. This community, there are so many people. And again, the community is so big that, you know what, you find your tribe, you find your circle, you find that group of people that resonate with you. And those are the people you rock with. Again, this community is so big. You're not going to agree with what everyone says in this community. There's just too many people, too many opinions, and there's no one right answer.
Very true.
But you find the people that resonate with you, the people who you feel like relate to you. And those are the people that you interact with. And those are when the friendships that, that become those bonds that we all form. I mean, Rab, you and I started this platform. We really didn't know too much about each other. And now you're like my brother. Corby came along not too long after that. And the minute we had him up on the show, there was a vibe there, and we continued to collaborate, and now look, the three of us, we're BME. I mean, this is what this is community building. This is what and look at what we're doing for the men. Yesterday, that men's mental health shop talk, again, one of the best ones that
Make it
we had
gets better every week.
we had new people come into the private chat that hadn't been there before, only for them to say, "This is what I've been looking for. I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was a thing." And that's community. That's community building. And this is what I love about the community is that, I mean, there are all flavors of life here. There really are. I mean, there's so many groups of people that you can resonate with, you can rock with. Everyone, I try to check out everybody's live. I try to go through, I try to see like who's out there in the community. Because again, everyone has a different message. Everyone has their own little thing. And again, I like to take in what everyone, has to say, because again, this journey it's different for us all, but we all have a different message. Even if we're experiencing the same exact things, we present things a completely different way because it's our perspective. And I love to get those perspectives from other people in the community. And I respect those because again, I'm not going to compare myself to Rab. I'm not going to compare myself to, Corby. But while we have different journeys, I respect their opinions about their journeys. Again, we have similar experiences, but they're all different. And I love the differences. The differences is what makes this community great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes each of our seriously, because each of our journeys are unique to us. Again, it's uniqueness, and everyone is unique in this community. And I think that's what makes it great for us, is that there are so many unique people that we can vibe with here.
Yeah, I think we have so many different perspectives and outlooks that come into play. One of the things that I've learned or appreciated about what we do here is we'll find the guy who is either starting, and we'll reach out to them to get to know that we're there. You matter. We reach out to the guy who says they're struggling. We'll put something on their or under their comments and say, "Hey, man, anything you need, we're here." Even in the extension outside of what we do from the social media aspect, the outreach to help guys who, hey, I'm struggling with groceries. Let's go ahead and do this. Like those things matter.
Yeah.
Like the little ways we show up in people's lives that people don't even, like, the rest of the world, even this community, might not even know, is what makes this something that I care about a lot. I appreciate how open and vulnerable men have been in the spaces of the shop talk and the spaces of being me, and even just in spaces where we're having co-ed conversations. I feel like these things are healthy. Uh, I like how everybody reposts everybody else's stuff to show support. Uh, Leave a comment, they share. It's a way of saying, I recognize what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I think these are the things. These are the things we wish we had. Maybe in our struggle with our weight that we have now, because we know what is needed.
Right.
What about you, Rab?
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. This particular community has kind of kept me or helped me keep sane. In some instances, it hasn't. Um, there has been, obviously those times where, people argue or they don't get along or don't see eye to eye, and that's okay. That's what makes us people, right? I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's woven from a different cloth, and that's cool. But I just like um, the acceptance, and no matter what you look like, what skin complexion you are, what you're wearing, what have you, what you got going on, how much weight you've lost, either way you look at it, we're all on a weight loss journey, and having a connection and enduring the whole change of acceptance while leading into this journey is very forthcoming and feels homey like it feels like home. um, but it also feels like home when there's disagreements, and you know everything isn't for everybody. Some people accept you and some people don't, and that's okay too. But yeah, this community has been amazing. And I can't say it enough. The women in this community uh, have greeted this whole push for Barry Male Experience with open arms, and that just really says so much. It means so much to us. Um, um, Moving forward as we try to achieve the goals that we're trying to achieve with reaching out and sharing experiences with men who are going through this weight loss journey.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people actually tag us in a post when they see another bariatric male new to the community, or possibly BME hasn't been visible to them. How many times they'll tag Barry Male Experience plus the three of us to make sure that we're, depending on what platform we're viewing on TikTok, that we see it and that we have the opportunity to reach out to to somebody. And that
Hmm.
means a lot, because um, I think that the women in this community realize that, again, the space for men isn't there. It has grown since we've started BME. A lot more bariatric men and men in a weight loss journey in general are more visible, and the connections that we continue to build, and we have people in the community championing BME at the forefront to make those connections with other men in the community, to give them the support that they need. And it means a lot to me, because this is why we started this platform. And to see how it resonates with not just men in the community, but the women in the community, means a lot.
Can you say that the community that you have found was a community that you felt you needed?
Oh, 100%.
I didn't know I needed it. Like I had no idea. Um, I didn't know when I first came on. Just listening to people talk, my first thought was like, what the hell is wrong with these people? They don't even know each other. They're sitting here working out with each other. Like, they don't even know each other. What is your problem? And then I became one of them. And I'm like, and again, it's like, this is, I think the majority of the community can agree and say that we never felt like we fit in, unless we were making people laugh, or if we were pleasing somebody, or if we were like a boss, um, or our kids would look up to us, But when I came in the community, it was just like, man, I just being accepted, like actually liked, and I didn't really have to put too much effort into it. Just people just liked me, and open their arms to me in this community, just because I was a human being, a person, someone going through the same um, challenges that they're going through. So, I mean, it's amazing to watch people grow in this community. There's been so many different people that I've met over the past year and some change, that really started out on a hard foot, on a hard journey. Like, they were really having, mental health issues, or they were having trouble with the eating and the changes that they were going through, or feeling like they couldn't fit in, or just said, "Oh, I'm not going to do any content because I look or I feel stupid." And like they're shining now, they're glowing, and they're doing so well. And I love to see people um, excel and meet their goals and be happy and fight and push and work and the camaraderie and cheering each other on. I like the way that feels. So
I noticed like in the three of us were all in the same boat when we first came into the community. Being new to the community and just trying to find the people that resonate with you. I remember searching and just like flipping through and trying to jump into different lives. I'd be in the comments asking questions, and you find those certain people that they not I mean there are big content creators, there are other content creators that some again these comments move fast. Not everyone gets seen, but you always find somebody who sees that comment and says, "Hey, I see you." And to find those people, and then you keep coming back and you keep interacting with them, and you start to develop those relationships. I mean, I couldn't have met a greater group of people. Like, I always talk about my circle, and some of these people are in here right now. Shar was one of them. Kia was another. Those were big supporters for me when I first got into the community. Kara, Bree. I mean, those were the people that were just like, "Hey, we see you."
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think I probably could have got through my first year without ever without them. And I think I did a big giant I remember I did a big giant Thanksgiving post, and I tagged everyone under the sun that was in that circle, just thanking them for being there for me because it meant a lot to me.
Can I
yeah.
ask you guys this? When it comes to from your beginning of your journey to now, have you seen your community expand in different ways? And if so, how? How's your community expanded?
You want to go, Rab?
Um, it's hard to say. That I've seen it expand. I've seen some people leave, and I've seen new people come. Um, uh, I see it from a different lens. I don't see it in like a whole bunch of, I don't see it on a followers numbers table. I see it on like the interaction within the community and what's going on, like, all the things we got going on with Barry Male Experience and doing new panels and having the live panel at the Bariatric Society, presenting at the JBY, having, being on podcasts with the waiting table and all these things, talking to like some content creators with thousands of followers, and it just that expansion has been there for me. I've seen it. I would say it has expanded. Um, and I also feel like I see a lot more males more often in the community coming forward. I, Now, I'm not going to say that's because of Barry Male Experience, but it's just really good to see that there's more men starting to speak and share their experiences. So I would say that there's been some expanding going on.
I definitely think. I mean, you're right on that to a certain extent. Like, it's changed. It's changed a lot. Again, there are a lot more men that are visible. There are a lot more men that I interact with. I mean, if I'm going to talk about it expanding, I think that our, as far as people who I interact with has expanded. Like, because again, I'm not talking to just bariatric men or bariatric women. I mean, we're talking to people who are on GLP-1 weight loss journey. We're talking to people on a natural weight loss journey. Um, I mean, in that way, yes, my community has expanded, but it's also changed where, being on this platform, I'm not on here every single day the way I used to interact with everybody. So like that circle that I was in, I don't get to see them as much. But when I do get to see them, I enjoy being there. I mean, Sandra was in here, dude. I every time I see Sandra live, I hop in because she's always got a playlist playing. I
Yeah.
mean, those are the things that I always remember. Is she always had a playlist. Even when she's at work, she's always got the music playing. And it's always a fire playlist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Never plays a bad song.
Nope.
But like those type of things, the community again. Your community will change. I mean, again, there's so many people in this community, and you're going to interact with people, and the further you get into your journey, you're going to interact with new bariatric people. And again, this community is almost like a revolving door, but every 3 to 6 months, there's a whole new set of bariatric people coming through here because people are having the surgery. And then there are people, that either stay on the platform, or they're like, all right, well, I've kind of had enough. I've had my fill. I've gotten the support that I need. I'm going to go on. I'm going to take my journey elsewhere. You may see them return, you may not see them return. I've seen so many content creators and so many people that have been in the community just come and go. And I mean, I'm pretty much almost 2 years in. It'll be 2 years. I'm 20 months. So basically by February, I'll be 2 years. And I've seen so many people come and go, but I've seen so many journeys evolve like mine, and they're still present in the community. And now, instead of being the people asking the questions, they're the people helping the people with the questions.
Mm.
That's what's
Mm.
great about it, is that people who grow in the community become the people who help the new people coming in. And that's what it's all about, is, being that support. Again, the further you get out, you still need support, but you need a different type of support. The new people coming into the community, that's what you have experience in, and that's where we share our knowledge. And basically, we're just passing down the knowledge that we've learned. It's personalized because it's our experience, but we can draw from the similarities to help the next person to be like, hey, you know what? There are different ways you can try to take this approach. There are certain things that you definitely need to tell them to do that will never be 100% wrong about. Is, we always need to drink our water or stay hydrated. We need to take our vitamins. We need to make sure we're hitting our protein goals. Make sure that we're keeping our bodies moving. Those things were always going to be the things that we need to do. But again, it's within those, like the bariatric high five that Barry Mother does and promotes. Those things never change. But the experiences that we all have doing these 5 things are all different. And that's part of the journey where we just share our experiences. And then the experiences that we have, that's where you find your community, because you find the ones with people like, oh, I can relate to that. And that's the person that you're going to ask the questions to and come to. But again, not everyone has all the same experiences. And that's why you can pick and choose and talk to different people and get those experiences that are relatable to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you all think in the comments? Thumbs up, community is great. Thumbs down, you're on the fence about community. What are your feelings about community? Share them in the comments. I'm curious. I
I'm
know
also
everyone.
curious to know what did it take for you to seek out community?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I got off on a little tangent earlier talking about, when you asked that question in the first place, I didn't even know it was out here. I stumbled across it. And I just was like, yo, I mean, hold on. Oh, we, yeah, we had surgery here. We're on a weight loss journey, and everybody's supporting each other. Oops, those people don't like each other, but yeah, we're gonna keep moving on. It's just it's fun. I like it. I enjoy it. I feel appreciated. I feel like I belong. I feel like I have a home. Um, I'm creating relationships. I'm feeling myself. Everybody with the compliments and making me feel good about me and me in my own skin, and just it just feels really good, man. And I wish everyone had the same experience that I
I came in here just to get bariatric recipes because I wasn't sure what to eat
had.
at the beginning, and I
Right,
started stumbling on stuff
right.
by accident.
What about you, Corby? How'd you end up in here?
Yeah.
I ended up, well, my journey really started on Instagram. When I was just sharing my journey with my walks. But then I gained so much support on there that I started to contribute that to TikTok. And the thing I've learned with TikTok was I would share my stuff because I wanted people to know like this is my mentality, my thought process, and hopefully people can tag along with it. But I learned so much more from other people's journeys that kept me motivated to want to build the community I got now.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
I'll take it from your standpoint, like your guys' standpoint. I didn't know you guys from a can of paint until like maybe June. I think it was June. I think in June we connect, right? We
It was
connected in June.
probably
Yeah, we
during.
connected. Yeah, I was
Yeah, it
in
was
one of your
around June.
I was in one of your lives for Pride and y'all pulled me up.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, this is something that I wanted to do. Because one of the things I've done in my personal life is build connection and community for people in addiction. And I was like, I can expand that in the bariatric community. Let's see where that takes me. It's where we got mental health shop talk. And
Mm,
I've been so fascinated on how easily one person's opportunity to be vulnerable allows for other people to be open.
Yeah.
And well, like I've always stated to people around me, it's like I don't want men or people in the bariatric community to not think they don't have a voice. Your voice is your ability to feel heard. So don't silence it because you don't think no one's listening. Right? Don't give people that opportunity to make you feel like what you have to say doesn't matter. It does matter because it's a value to what you believe your voice matters to you. And that's how I built my community is finding people who struggled with their voice, finding people who wanted to have a voice, finding people who are looking to grow and share a voice, and getting them all connected with each other. All right.
mm,
I feel like the men having a voice. I mean, I think sometime around the time we started to connect, we did a big giant campaign about visibility for men in the community.
Mhm.
Um, and I really feel like while the intent out there was to try to get companies and it was to bring it was to try to see more men out there trying to promote stuff. We didn't see a lot of that stuff, but while we didn't see that happen like in the capacity that we thought it was going to happen or we wished for, we've seen so many more men just out there sharing their journey, talking about their experiences. Like I can't flip through, my For You page without running across, another bariatric male or a man on a weight loss journey talking about their experiences and talking about like, important things that, like, oh, I never thought about it that way. Again, you're getting another man's perspective. And that again, there's parts of the journey that I don't experience it the same thing as everyone else, but to hear what other people go through, I enjoy the stories, and some of them are successful, some of them are bad, and it's like you almost feel like it brings you out there to to try to support them, especially if they're struggling. because again, you don't know what the support system is. And I feel like we've run across a lot of people on this platform alone, with just people who didn't realize that they had the support out there, but they just didn't know where to turn.
I, hey, what's up, AJ? I think what people do is they graze.
Yeah.
They'll graze into the chat. And that's why I say proximity matters. They'll graze in the chat, listen to it for a bit. They'll come to another chat, listen for a bit. After a while, that stuff builds into being like, oh, okay, well, sounds like people are sharing and opening up and wanting to be a part of it, and then they want to participate. That's what I noticed is like people will graze until they want to participate. Big E did that, right? Big E started off, he'll be in the chat, and then he came into the shop talk, started opening up, shared his voice, and then he just started being very consistent and showing up, showing his posts, sending his stuff out, getting the word out, and then people started to say, "Okay, cool, he has something to say. He want to
Mm-hmm.
say it," and now his voice has shown how much it matters to him.
And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's, I mean, I don't know about you, Corby, but I know that's how I started, was I grazed through everything until I finally found people that resonated with me. And when I was able to ask questions and I was able to get answers and I was able to take what people were giving, the advice people were giving me to, like, oh, maybe I can make adjustments doing this. I was able to start sharing that, and I became more active in the comments again. And I'll promote this to the day the day I die. Is like the best support I've ever given anyone has been in the comments of other people's lives. More than I feel like that my impact was always more in the comments than I ever being on this platform up here in front of a camera. And I mean,
And that's huge though, right? I mean, for someone who doesn't like, there are plenty of people who don't enjoy going live. They don't go live, but they do want to be heard, so acknowledging comments when you can, or even if you can't acknowledge a comment, or you go back in the DM and say, hey, like you said earlier, Tony, about I see you, I hear you, or like Corby shared, when we're reposting videos, all those little things that some people may not think count really do count. It means a lot to be heard and involved and included. It
Mhm.
just does. And it's easy just to say, man, I don't care. You accept me for who I am or you don't. I don't even care. That's okay. But you know what? You do.
but that's the
You do.
power of community.
Yeah.
And that is, that's the power of community, is the people who make an impact every single day. And those people are in the comments or they're live every single day, um, giving that support and helping people and listening, giving people, the opportunity to have a voice. I mean, that's impact. And, again, giving everyone a voice who felt like they've never had a voice, or people who have had questions that never felt like they could get answered, just being seen. And that's what the community is about.
Yeah.
We have a community of support, and that's where you get your friendships built, and that's where, again, Rab, meeting you, I never realized the impact of when we started to interact. I you are I'll always say you're like the brother I didn't know I needed.
Mm.
Because again, like, our interaction, and when we started to talk all the time and I started to hear your story and I started to tell you mine, I didn't realize, like, I had friends in this community, but not on the level where we talked every single day, and like, and we would tell each other stuff that, like, I didn't normally share, on this platform.
Mm.
And I know that you did the same thing, and like, I didn't realize, like, how much I needed to have someone hear me out, because again, there's certain things that we share here and then there are certain things that we don't share. And to be able to share something with someone off camera about any type of struggle, or it's a different feeling to be able to be heard and not have noise around, and to get a constructive, like, you know, comment or suggestion back. And now we have, and Ryan does the same thing for us now. And I know that being able to talk to someone else and getting another point of view. I mean, again, these are the things that we didn't realize we needed, and these are the relationships that we form on this platform. Again, it's not like we're not neighbors. We're not like, I can't just drive to your house every day, or but I can call you guys up. We're in different parts of the country, but
Right. And
we don't realize how much we relate to each other.
right. And what's great about it is that like it's almost to a point where it's like never ending. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, we don't go like with the followers that we have, the following that we have with Barry Mail Experience. I think we have like 500 followers on AG, and we're sitting at like about almost, are we about 2,500 or 3,000 on Barry Mail Experience? What I'm getting at is that we don't have the 30, 50, 100,000 followers. There is are men out there that have no idea that we even exist, and it really shows you and puts into perspective with the followers that we do have, how tight knit we are, and the community that we have, and how that presents itself with our initiative, and the relationships that we have and that we're building. How much further or how much stronger it will be for those who don't even know yet. you know
And that's the close. We have a close community. We have authentic followers, and we have. I mean, we interact with people. While every week we see the same people in our lives.
yeah,
We also have the same people messaging us and,
yeah.
and forwarding, other bariatric men from the community. We have those interactions with everyone. So, I mean, the visibility is there. But again, like I've always expressed to you guys my opinion as far as like how big I want it to be. I like being a little live on TikTok. I I've always seen this as a community based live, and support for the men in this community. But this community has expanded. We've pushed past certain boundaries that I didn't expect us to, and
Hmm.
the visibility that we continue to push for. I mean, the platform will get bigger. I'm not saying that we're going to have 50,000 followers. I mean, if we get 10,000 followers, that'd be awesome. But again, like, if the platform got so big that we weren't able to reach out the way we do now, it would be different for me, because I feel like this is manageable. That what, I can authentically give people support. I don't want to just be a face of, a platform and not be able to interact with the people and not, be who I am with them. I mean, that
Hmm.
means more to me, that, because again, I'm on this platform, but I'm still a person in this community.
Mm.
You guys are my community just as much as they're part of, we're all part of each other's community. I'm just as much a part of their community too. And I
Hmm.
just want to be the person in that community. I love this community. I've always been a cheerleader in this community, and I always will be. And I don't ever, I say I don't want it to ever change, but again, I feel like if I could give my authentic self and to authentically help people in the nature that I've always done it, I always want to be there for them.
Only bleeding red, white, and blue for community. I appreciate that.
Hmm. Sure
Totally,
is.
totally, totally, definitely does that. I respect that of him.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to expand without using the word community, because we've used that a million times today. I want to kind of expand and maybe use the idea of Mm. Your society. Like we know the word community is part of a society. So what do you see in the pivotal pieces that make your society of people matter to you around you? Like what about Rab makes it so vested in your interest in wanting to get to know him more? Like what is your like what do you see in Rab? Because I mean you got to think about it this way. Like we all have to see something in each other to want to stay invested.
So I think that again, Rab and I again close in age. I mean, we're not far off, but just like the way we think. I mean, Rab and I, we have similar interests in music. Um, I feel like our stories, while we're complete opposites. Like we still make each other laugh. I mean, Rab's memory forgets everything I say, but Rab can make you laugh no matter what. He has that personality that just invites people. He's kind. He cares. I don't think he gives himself enough credit for the time he is. He's very hard on himself. But I also feel like Rab's story alone, where because he's so hard on himself because of his past, he doesn't realize how far he's come from his past, and that story is just amazing. And for me to listen to that story as much as he has told me, it seriously, like you're an interesting person. I mean, you have a lot to say, and like I'm so happy that I mean, again, yin and yang, me and you, buddy. I mean, we argue and fight like brothers, but it's never personal. We can say whatever we want to each other. I mean, and it's been like that from the beginning. I mean, we had a vision together. We had a similar vision of what we wanted to see for men in this community. And Rab has never ceased to amaze me of how much he loves this community and how much he wants to help it and how much he reaches out. And there are times where I aspire to be Rab because he shows how much he cares. He follows up with people. He's called people out of the blue. There are certain things that I feel like I don't do for the community that I'm almost like envious of how Rab interacts with people because I feel like people are drawn to Rab. And just like you, Corbin, I mean, you do the same thing. I don't think you realize how much of an impact you've had on me and on this platform. I mean, I really feel like that, a lot of visibility has come with you joining BME because you've given it an aspect that, we were lacking in experience that we didn't have. I mean, you're further out in your journey. You have, you have accreditation that we didn't have, and you have understanding that in perspective that we were looking for. And I think that's why you resonated so much with us, is because you were able to give perspective and break it down for the point that made us think. I remember being on lives with you and just sitting there getting lost in my thoughts because you were talking.
Yeah, and being a normal human being while doing it, like approachable, like you know, hey, nah, man, it's that time. Hey, I'm gonna have to charge you here in a minute. You're not that type of person, man, and it's just like you just being real, and it's like forget you being a therapist, you're a friend first, man, and that's just like
But you guys invest
and
your
that's for
time.
that and that's for everybody though, like that's for everybody. And see, Tony, you see you talking about invest time, this, that, and the other, man. Every single live that we've had, you always shine. You're always shining with what you say, the emotion that you bring to the panel, what you have to share with people, your perspective. I could say some off the wall shit that I shouldn't say, and you'll correct me on this panel and give your perspective. and that's huge for people who don't have a voice or don't have the panel to speak up and say what they say. And I think that's what the three of us do here. I think we do a pretty good job at covering the basis for most of the people who don't want to have or choose not to have a voice or to do lives or take the time and speak up or say these things. And going back to myself, and the question is that I a lot of people see the things that I say and that I share maybe as too much TMI, too much information coming from Rab's personal life. And the reason I do that is, one, because I need to release that. I need to let that go. Two, it's because there's someone else out there that feels the same damn way and isn't saying shit. And three, maybe there's something that someone's going through and they don't feel comfortable saying it. And if this dude is saying it, then shit, I'm gonna say something too. And that's my whole take, and that's my whole position with what we're doing here with Very Male Experience. So that's what you're going to get from me. I don't really have any cut guards. I try to stay away from the cussing. I'm doing better at trying to not be so involved in lives, and that's on panels, lives, and just having a lot more self-respect for myself and the people that I may or that may be listening to me when I speak. So.
I appreciate that, guys. 'Cause I feel like that's an opportunity for us to see that we know why we want to show up in each other's lives and why we feel it's important to keep connected. Um, Community is a form of connection. And and if you want to tie this into some like real shit, the opposite of any one of our addiction is connection. Any one of our addiction is connection. The opposite. Because our addiction led to connection to where we would remove ourselves from other people and doing what we do in isolation, in abandonment, and avoidance. Like, how many times as a man have you avoided speaking about how you truly feel solely because you feel no one's going to care or listen until you start speaking up? Until someone started asking you, oh, wait, what's wrong? Until someone actually wondered, are you okay? That there pivots that entire idea that you're alone in this. Like, you might have to deal with your own stuff, but there's a world of community around you that is willing to hear you and be there to kind of give you different perspectives. Because not one man's perspective will lead them to a way of knowing everything around them. It's impossible.
And again, sometimes that voice that people want to have isn't the voice that wants to be up on the soapbox. That voice is just wanting to be heard and to be acknowledged, and to be able to share an experience with someone. So, I mean, again, having a voice doesn't just mean being up here and talking, how you feel about stuff. Sometimes it's
No.
being in the comments. Sometimes it's, being in a private Zoom with people, or just being on a phone call with someone, being able to be heard, and having the knowledge to know that I feel someone sees me, someone is acknowledging me, someone is there to support me, and I'm not alone. And not being alone, I mean, again, this journey can be very lonely because, again, who do you relate to? Who do you resonate with in your regular life who knows exactly what you're going through?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an important thing. Again, sympathy versus empathy. again, I can sympathize with people, but I'll never know what you're really going through. But if I can empathize with you, I know exactly what you're dealing with.
Mhm.
Done a lot of talking to
And that's kind of why I think I know we've talked a lot, been a plethora of conversation.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Uh, uh, one of the things I want to reiterate is the resonation of connection in all this. When we get off of here, right, we don't stop our connection with each other, right?
No.
We call each other, we text each other. Even the guys in my Zoom chat, we check on them. Like that's that's something to say that you're not you're not just a person I talk to through social media. You're a person I connect with outside of what social media has provided us, right? You're growing and becoming a home base for me to make me feel like I want you to be part of my life. That is a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of times people can stonewall, show the nice face, and be like, "Hey, this is who I am," da, 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 da. And then they cut it off, and no one gets to know the authentic version of who they are because they've only shown what version they want people to see. It's wearing a mask. But then when we unmask these other pieces of ourselves and say, "Hey, I'm willing to be vulnerable outside of the social media platform. I'm willing to be vulnerable in the sense of I want to talk to these guys and see how they're doing." That's just being human. That's being involved. And I love how much better we are showing up and finding that space for other people. I I congratulate Rab for how much he reaches out and calls people. Rab checks up on people more than I do. I know I check up on people when I can through a text message or maybe a quick chat. I got my sessions throughout the day, but Rap follows through. Right, Tony follows through. Hey, if I told Tony, hey, I'm struggling, I'm gonna get a text later on and say, hey, how you doing now? Like
How
that
many
is
times
the
have we like said something where I'm struggling, or we haven't heard from each other in a period of time that, like, you know what, I usually hear something out of this person. How many times have we just, hey, are you okay?
Mhm.
We're always checking up on each other, and I mean, again, and we all have our own lives going on. It's, I mean, it's a lot.
It
I mean,
is.
like, we, the minute this camera goes off, we all have regular lives that we're going through. But to make the effort to say, you know what, you're a part of my life. I mean, that's what, community is about. It's not just about, the shares and the likes and the followers. Again, this is real. This is real shit. This is real. This is real life stuff. I mean, if you really want support and you really want community, and I mean, show up for each other. I mean, that's it. I can't stress that enough, because again, like, these two guys up on panel with me, if I didn't have their support, I mean, it's a hard day if I didn't know Rab was just like, hey, you know what? I know you're struggling, buddy, but that little pep talk, the affirmations that Ryan gives to everyone, just here's food for thought. Here's something to think about. Here's my perspective. These are things that they help. I mean, I'm so grateful that the guys that show up to the to the shop talk. I can't tell you how much it fills my cup to know that, like, new people come in every single week, and the people talk about, like, I didn't realize this is what I needed. That's real. That's what it's about. This is off panel. This isn't on social media. This is about real life shit that we're here for you. And that's what I love. And you know what? They're here, for me just as much. I need
Mhm.
that. I don't get to go to Shop Talk and stay on there for 2 hours like we did last night. That was awesome. I could.
Yeah, we definitely did 2 hours of shop
Yeah.
talk last night. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
We there's a lot of stuff that we heard last night. And again, it's that raw, real deal stuff that we get to be there and support each other with. That doesn't need to be on social media. And that's sacred to me, and that's the stuff that why we say it stays in that chat, never comes out. That's brotherhood right there. That's the community we've built. But it's the same thing. I mean, we have stuff. People don't realize how much BSG Bestie does for us behind the scenes. We might be a trio up on panel, but we're a quartet behind the scenes. She does so much for us, and again, she's like our sister. She's in our chat and phone calls just as much as the three of us together. I mean, it's a quartet behind the scenes, and I don't think people realize how much she means to B and me.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, and
Pivotal part in what we do, and pivotal cheerleader, pivotal ideologist. I appreciate everything she done and support of us.
So it's 8:59 already, man. We blew through this hour. 8:58. We blew through this hour. Hey, Corby, I want you to close us out, man, before Tony gives us before Tony gives us our closing statement, but our closing announcements. But what can you express how you feel about the meaning of community and what you get from it within this platform?
I get family. I get the ability to know that I'm worth something without feeling like I have to make people believe I'm worth something. People make me feel like I'm worth something regardless of how much I put out there. They just genuine love, I feel. And that there is what community means to me. It's you get the good, bad, and ugly of me. You still say, I love you. I show up for you. I'm thankful for you. And that right there is all I need. Can you love me when I don't even like me? Can you love me when I don't want to? I don't think I'm myself. Can you love me when I really struggle with looking in the mirror some days? Can you say that I care about you even when I'm the toughest person on myself at that moment? And that right there, no, that right there means that means a lot to me because that's the community I've always wanted. I wanted a community that held me accountable, but also respected me enough to say, you still got this and I love you for who you are.
And I'm there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even if you piss me off.
I'm still there for you.
That's right.
I'll still be your friend.
I'm still your friend to the end.
Mhm.
Heidi-ho! Heidi-ho! Tony, you want to close us out, man?
Yes. Thank you very much for everyone being here tonight. Don't forget to check out our sister chat, BSG Bestie, with Talk Bari to Me every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget that the Men's Mental Health Shop Talk is now every Monday. Starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll go live for a half hour on TikTok, and then all the men will join on a Zoom link, and we will talk about all things men and bariatric and whatever else we have going on in our lives.
If you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Yes, and don't forget, you can catch all the replays for all of our lives since the beginning of January on YouTube. And if you have a favorite episode, you can keep watching it over and over and over. And this is probably going to be one of my favorite ones because I really enjoyed this talk, and 9 o'clock already.
Yeah, it went through. Thank you all for the 26,000 likes. We appreciate y'all. Your
Do it
consistent
all again
support.
Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Yes,
Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Every
I'll be
time.
doing my show in Miami because I'll be on my honeymoon.
that's right. That's right.
Oh God, he's leaving it to us. Oh boy,
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
freaking frat.
A weemba wait, a weemba wait, a
Yeah,
weemba wait.
He's gonna be doing the hula dance while we're up in the Northeast freezing our asses off.
oh man. Well, again, thank you all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Love.